Right then, this summer is going to mark United's first big transfer window with INEOS in the footballing control. So it's definitely going to be a big one. And if Erik Ten Hag is still in charge, and it unfortunately seems like it's an if at the moment, then he has previously publicised his desire for 3 positions that he feels Manchester United need to prioritise in this transfer market in order to get ourselves into the top 4. Now, I'm going to have a look at those signings. I'm going to put some names down as options for each of those positions, and then you guys let me know what you think about them. How's that sound for a plan? Right then, first position as a priority then is centre-half. United need a centre-half. We are losing a starter in Varane, so priority has to be given to this position. Losing Varane means the absence of a centre-half with class recovery pace, organisation skills, decent ball playing ability. He's not as good as Martinez in terms of how he distributes the ball, but he's quite press resistant, and you can give him the ball in bad circumstances and he's going to retain possession. I think signing a young centre-half with a knack for maybe having a little bit of pace to sweep those balls in behind is going to be crucial. And I've got 3 players that I think are probably quite good options for that. First up is Antonio Silva. I think there's going to be a lot of demand for Antonio Silva this summer. At the very least, United should be, and seemingly will be, inquiring as to his availability. He's very much in the mould of Varane. He's got some real good first-team experience over the last couple of years, over 4,000 minutes this season at only 20. That's the kind of reliability. And I think there's a ceiling there as well with him that United absolutely need. Lenny Euro. So that's one that we've covered on a scout report previously, not too long ago. The centre-half that's getting a reputation that increases on a daily basis. We would be literally following Varane's French league path. There is now interest from Real Madrid. We've seen this play out before. It worked out quite well for Real Madrid. But Manchester United supposedly are in the mix, as well as many, many more. I don't think he's going to be too expensive, but he certainly would not be cheap. And I think at 50 million euros, if he is the new Varane, that is an absolute bargain, and you'd get 10 years out of him at the very, very top level. And then finally, Goncalo Inacio. United and Liverpool are supposedly looking at this guy, and both could be options for him in the summer transfer window. There is a release clause of 60 million, and him being a right-footed centre-half would be a pretty good one with losing Varane. Bit of a leader, being class for Sporting, only 22. And I think a pretty good option. Now, I think it's worth spending a good chunk of change on a centre-half because we've seen just how everything crumbles and falls apart without a good centre-half. And I think those 3 options that we've given you there, any of them would start. What's my preference out of them? I don't really have one, to be honest. I think all of them, you don't know for sure who's going to be a success. You don't know if their personality matches or conflicts. You just want to see someone that's able to blend in with the team and take us forward. And I think potentially all of those 3 could do that. Right, lads, gather around. You have heard me banging on about Manscaped for ages, mainly discussing the virtues of a well-trimmed ball bag. But today we're going to move a little bit north and something that you might have actually seen, my beard. Manscaped isn't just a master of below-the-belt grooming. They have conquered beard territory too. And I know this is groundbreaking news. Let's delve into the details. Now, we are all well acquainted with Manscaped's brilliance for the downstairs department. They've been many a saviour of many a date night and many a ball bag. And you know the Lawnmower 4.0 by now. I'm not going to tell you about any of the features for it because if you don't know them, then you're never going to know them, right? It's a certified hero for the nether regions. But they're here for the beards now as well, and they've got the beard hedger. It is a cordless miracle worker that is both tough and gentle. It takes down facial forests in a single stroke. It's got 20 different lengths of settings. It gives you the power to totally customize your beard without cluttering up the bathroom and having a million different attachments. Now, they've also got another member of the band, and it's the Handyman. That is a dual-sided foil razor that has got your back, whether it's your face, whether you're going clean shaven or just tidying up a little bit around the neck. It is the epitome of comfort in the shaving world, and it's got a seamless and nick-free experience. So listen, if you want to give your beard the VIP treatment that it absolutely deserves, get over to manscaped.com, use a special code Howson. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping. And while you're grooming the jewels, let's not neglect the crown. With Manscaped, who said beauty had to be a pain? Let's keep it neat and tidy, top to bottom. Defensive midfielder. Now, the emergence of Mainu has saved United some serious money. But the form of Casemiro and him being a shadow of himself last season means that we really missed that player last season. We need a defensive midfielder, and it's a position that we've just not filled since Carrick left us a long time ago now, actually. We need to lock it down with someone that can hold that position for years to come. Getting Casemiro and that first season for him was absolutely sensational, but we have to pin our colours to someone that's going to be here for years and years. Someone like Bruno, someone like Martinez, where you go, that's my guy. Like Højlund even, I think that's going to be our guy for years to come. And you've got to find that. Now, there's some real good options. We've scouted all of these previously, so if you want more in-depth, like, go and check out the videos on any of them before. But here's the options that I think for a young defensive midfielder, and not all in the same mould as well, it must be said. João Neves, now, I don't know what more there is to say about João Neves. He's attracting attention from across Europe. He's guaranteed a move to a proper, European royalty club. He's going to be the most expensive option, but he is consistently showing his worth. It's whether or not United can afford to go deep on him and a centre-half as well. So it's going to require some sales for that to happen. But I think you've got a serious talent in there if you did, and it'd be nice to see United have that sort of ambition. Again, young, but well worth doing. Another one that's going to be a target of many European clubs is Mats Wafer. So exceptional defensive asset, deserves an opportunity at a club of real stature, absolutely crucial in how Feyenoord did this season, very much in that Dutch technical defensive midfielder mould. Could be one to keep an eye on. Don't know how much he would go for, but definitely could be one to keep an eye on, and would certainly do the job that we're looking for out of him. Third one would be Morten Hjumland. So 24-year-old Sporting defensive midfielder, big key player in how Sporting won a title this season, extremely reliable, technical player, undoubtedly big move on the cards, at the right kind of age to go there as well. Valued at like 30-40 million euros, potentially cost a little bit more following the season that he's just had. But Sporting are a club that likes to sell, so I wouldn't worry about it. They will do business with you. Absolutely someone to monitor. And all three of them, even if they're completely different footballers or marginally different footballers, would come in and do a job for Manchester United alongside Kobbie Mainoo, because I think we've got a bet on him, I think, a little bit. And then striker, or even you could stretch this even to forward, I think, but striker is a position that's got to be prioritised. Martial did not play this year, and even though the quality wasn't where it needed to be, we missed out on plenty of goals because we didn't have a backup striker when Højlund was absent. And I think they don't come cheap, but a decent backup striker, someone to give Højlund the night off, but even challenge him a little bit would probably be a good thing. And we've covered one of these at least extensively in the past, but there's some others that I think are worth looking at. So Joshua Zirkzee, a different option to Højlund, more accustomed to sort of slotting in as a bit of a false nine, deep lying forward kind of role. Very cheap option to look at with Bologna. Very tall, on fire, major creator, athletic ability and a good range of movement. He would come in and maybe give us a different option in the final third if we were struggling to unlock a defence. Take a midfielder off and throw him on. If you've got a team that have just been pushed back and are sitting inside their box and what we're doing ain't working, throw this in as a little bit of a different option. And there'll be some games he starts and some games that Højlund gets the night off, and he's pretty cheap, so I think he'd be a really good option. Second one is Benjamin Sesko. Everyone knows all about him as well, and everyone's always talking about him. He's been a shining light at Leipzig, and he's probably the most expensive option here, but he really probably could compete with Højlund. Still pretty cheap at £55 million release clause, but I reckon he's probably going to be too expensive, especially if you've gone quite big on the two other previous positions. And then Wahi, Eli Wahi. So only Mbappe scored more goals in Ligue 1 than Wahi, and he's young. That would be a real big upgrade on the exiting Martial. Loads more similar to Højlund than he would have been with Martial. Quality finishing, good work ethic, really does not stop pressing. So that's a bit of a game changer off the bench if you're struggling and you want a tempo increase. Quick player that's got real genuine top potential. Lens paid 30 mil. So even though I think he's probably cheaper than Sesko, it's going to be close to that, I think. But maybe it's someone to think about. Now, ultimately, I think there's 3 positions there that need to be addressed quickly, and you've got to fill in the weaknesses within the team. INEOS are going to be massively judged on the signings this summer, and if they made 3 out of the 9 on this list, I think they've taken United forward. We still need a little bit of luck. There's still exits to sort out. There's still injuries to overcome. But I think, there's quite a few players that have all got different values, some affordable, some a little bit more spendy. But United have to get this right this time. Like, they can't really afford a mistake. Transfer business is kind of 50-50, which is a shocking hit rate for the amount of money invested. United can't really afford to have anything less than 100% success rate this summer because that's how far behind we are. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.